Hi, it's Kari Matthews of Prairie Quilting. Today we're working on my quilt Spring Breeze. The pattern is available through my website, prairiequilting.com. And the fabric I used on this is called Serendipity by Jessica Flick for Benartex. Okay, I'm going to show you how I cut my templates. Okay, so for this Spring Breeze quilt, I used solids for, except for the prints that I used. So if you're using solids, you don't have to worry about, you can cut them two at a time like this, because there's not a right and a wrong side to this fabric, okay? And what I do is I lay the long side here on the straight of, the end of the strip here, and then I turn it and I nest my templates, and I keep working my way down, nesting the templates, okay? You can cut two at a time because you are not going to get a reverse. You don't want a reverse. You want all just template B here, okay? And this is the same for A as well. So let me just give you an example. Let's say you have a print, okay, that you're working with instead of a solid here. So in that case, you are going to want to layer strips together with both sides facing up, okay? Do you see that? Have both sides facing up if you want to cut two at a time, or you'll end up with the reverse of B for part of them, and that you won't be able to use those. All right, our first step for Spring Breeze is we are going to connect these two pieces. Now, this template here is template A. Make sure if you're using solids, it's very easy to flip them the wrong side, and the angles are so similar here that this one and this one, it's really easy to get it flipped around. I know, I've done it, and so make sure you have them template A, okay? Not the flip, or you'll have to rip it out, and I've done that. So anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to match these up. I have them all laid, and because they're solids, I don't have to worry about wrong side and right side, but that can also be a thing, like I just said. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to match up all of these here. I'm going to use our engineered corners to help us line those up, okay? And have fun with this one. This is a fun place to use up some fun, like floral fabrics or bigger fabrics here. So let's go ahead and sew these. All right, we're going to be using our 1/4 inch seam, and we're going to just keep those edges together. I live on the prairie and I love it. Spring I love the breeze on the prairie, or the wind on the prairie. I grew up in North Dakota, and so it just reminds me of home and being a kid. All right, we're gonna go ahead and press toward this celery green color here. I used solids, and it kind of helps to show off the prints that you're gonna be using. You can use a bunch of different prints, flower prints. Okay, so now we have a half a triangle basically. Okay, so we're going to be pairing that up with our flower triangles. Okay, so for each block, I put the same type of flower. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and sew those together with these big half square triangle florals that we have. Okay, so we're just matching up these units that we just sewed with our half square triangles. Okay. Our engineered corners are helping us. And last one, this is a pretty simple block once we figure out which way these templates go together. All right, let's go sew. Okay, so here we go. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and press toward that flower, big half square triangle. Go away from the bulk of the seams is what I'm doing. Okay, so now we have pressed those. We're gonna go ahead and clip off our dog ears here. Get rid of as much bulk as we can. Okay, so now I have laid our block out. It's basically a big 4-patch, okay? And it's like a big pinwheel, kind of fancy pinwheel. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just line those up, and we have a couple, just one seam here, this diagonal seam to nest, okay? See that? So they're pressed opposite directions because we pressed both of them toward that floral, okay? And same here, we're gonna go ahead and pin and match up the seam in the corner here. All right, let's go ahead and sew. And our second one, this is a quick block to go together. All right, and we are gonna go ahead and go toward this kind of vertical burgundy. As long as you go the same direction on both of them, you'll be fine. So now we have half blocks. And I love the way this dark striking kind of plum color stands out. So it's very strong, the secondary pinwheel in there. See how that just really pops, that little tiny pinwheel. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and match up these half blocks here. And we're nesting our seams again, okay? And nothing to nest on the ends. So let's go ahead and sew. All right, our last seam of the block. All right, and to press, it doesn't really matter which direction because it's the same no matter which way you turn the block. All right, and there is our double pinwheel whirl block. All right, our block is finished. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you soon for another project. Take care.